We are actually training these children to build values and moral character, and they will effect the change that we want to see. And for us to have a meaningful life, then we need to think about sustainability. My name is Kwabena, so I'm the founder and CEO of Boomers International and the Yonso Project Model School. We are one of the pioneers of the bamboo bicycle business. Actually, currently, we are the biggest bamboo bicycle production unit in Africa. And yeah, I think we've played our role as a company to help promote the resource. Bamboo actually absorbs more carbon than any other plant, and it also emits more oxygen than any other plant. People who even had it on their farms will even actually try to kill them because it was taking a sizable amount of their farm. We planted about 3,000 seedlings, but now we have over 40,000 bamboo cones. This was just one we put here. In this whole place, it was just one seedling we put here. And I look at it, has almost about 40 or maybe 50 cones. And so you could really see how fast it grows. Mostly people didn't really see the importance of bamboo until recently when we discovered that it's the wise man's timber, where it can be used for anything wood will do and even do it better. And it has a better finish than even normal wood, which takes longer years to grow. I come from a small community called Yonso in the central part of Ghana, in the Ashanti-Region. So this is where I grew up with my grandmother. Actually, it used to be a madhouse, and today feels quite emotional for me because they all passed away at the same time. My grandmom, she meant everything to me. She was all I got. My father, my mother. I am who I am because of that. So we founded the Yonso Project at the time, trying to provide scholarships and microfinance for women and community libraries. So we realized that we needed more than just that because we needed to provide funding. That was when my friend Sam Dupree actually brought to our knowledge the issue of the bamboo bicycle. And that was when we started thinking about what the impact of the bamboo bicycle will have on the environment, will have on the community at large, and also on transportation. This is where the whole thing started in 2007, before we relocated to Apa in 2009. I remember the first bicycle we made. It was a city bike. I think it was a 10-speed city bike. and we rode it for a long time. It was the toast of everyone at the organization. Everybody wanted to take a ride on it at every point in time. We're about 5 workers, and today we are about 30 workers. So there's a huge difference from the when we started to today. So building a business in Ghana is quite tough. Apart from lack of access to regular funding, you also have to deal with the system where everybody wants to take from you before they provide a service, even though that's why they've been employed to work there. Corruption is a big thing, killing a lot of businesses, and that's why a lot of people are even thinking of relocating from the country. And we're losing our sense of humanity, where people don't care about the community, the impact, and the people anymore, other than what comes into their pocket. Yeah, right. And so sometimes something that should take you like a day or even some hours to do, you end up spending weeks or even months to do it because you're not ready to put something in an envelope for somebody. What we do here is just build the frame, and then we export them to Germany for them to assemble there and then feed them to customers. Sometimes we do build complete bicycles when we have a customer who is in need of it, but we don't do that on a regular basis. We see them as more of equal partners than just distributors, and that is my book, because they've been with us right from the start of this project, helped us to re-engineer a lot of our products, helped us to expand our sales and everything, and so it's my book who are our biggest customers, not just in Germany but in the whole of Europe.
Ich bin Jonas, einer der Gründer von Maibu, und wir sind hier in Kiel. Da ist unsere Zentrale in unserer Produktionshalle, wo aus den Rahmen komplette Fahrräder gebaut werden. Ganz wichtig ist, dass unsere Faser, das ist eine Flachsfaser, dass wir die gut verbinden können mit den Metallteilen, damit wir da eine möglichst stabile Verbindung hinbekommen. Und dafür müssen wir hier einmal schauen, dass das von den Durchmessern passt, dass das von den Längen und von den Größen passt. Das prüfen wir gerade, bevor wir das dann in Ghana in Serie umsetzen können. So ein klassisches Fahrrad wird ja normalerweise aus Aluminium oder Stahl gebaut. Man hat immer die Herausforderung bei solchen Rädern, dass es sehr energieintensiv ist, einen Rahmen zu bauen, vor allem zu schweißen und die Verbindungselemente zu schaffen. Gleichzeitig muss man den Rohstoff gewinnen, das frisst auch eine Menge Energie. Und mit einem Bambusfahrrad lösen wir diese Probleme, weil Bambus ist eine der am schnellst nachwachsenden Pflanzen auf der Welt, bindet enorme Mengen CO2 im Wachstum und ist dementsprechend auch deutlich nachhaltiger als ein klassischer Fahrradrahmen aus Alu oder Stahl. Aktuell ist es so, dass ein Teil des Preises quasi, den wir an Ghana zahlen für einen Rahmen, zur Seite gelegt wird und in die Schule, die Yonso Project Model School, investiert wird. Wir haben auch in Deutschland hier einen gemeinnützigen Verein, das ist der Maibu Ghana School e.V. Und so haben wir, glaube ich, eine ganz tolle Zusammenarbeit, weil einmal entsteht Wertschöpfung und aus dieser Wertschöpfung wird etwas nachhaltig in die Schule gesteckt und so können wir da eine tolle Schule bauen.
2019, we opened the Yonso Project Model School, and we currently have about 600 students in the school, each one having unique qualities, and we are very so proud of our students with the impact we are making on these kids. when I was going to my secondary school, I was actually supposed to get a scholarship. But that scholarship went actually to someone. And so these are things I've gone through, and I do not want any child to go through the same experiences I went through. I want children who really need it actually have it. Like I needed it, but I never had it. The school was established with the main aim of improving leadership in our country and across Africa. So we are training these children with a different mindset to develop them as ethical, critical thinking leaders and also change makers. We have a lot of programs here that is helping the kids to build different skills. We have a program called a Character First Education, where we are actually training these children to build values and moral character so that they can actually grow and think about how they can also improve their communities other than themselves. And I think this is what we are doing here to change the system. Most of them are nylon. So the school is not finished yet. We still have a lot of work going on. We are now trying to finish the classrooms and then finish the entire school. We are setting up, our goal is to also have a boarding house because there are a lot of kids from other places who wants to be part of this school. And because of the distance, our buses cannot go there. We try to get them to the boarding house. Growing up, I knew nothing about sustainability. I grew up in a very typical cultural setting where we didn't really have knowledge of what sustainability was, how important it was to have a green environment, how important was it to keep your environment clean. But after I started venturing into bamboo, I realized that it was more than it is as we knew, and that climate change was real. And a lot of things have to be done. And for us to have a meaningful life, then we need to think about sustainability. We need to think about the effect of the products we use on the environment. We need to look at how important it is to keep the environment healthy so that we can also have a happy and a healthy life. We use plant-based resin epoxy. We import the metal parts, the metal components at the joints, and then we use them. We glue the pipe on a jig, and then after that we do the roughing with resin epoxy and the plant fiber, and then after that we do more of the sanding and the filing to get a finishing. I still have a lot of dreams. I want to have a great family life. And most importantly, we also want to transform the bamboo sector in Ghana. I want to see many of these kids coming out of this school being great leaders, bringing about change. It gives me self-fulfillment. It is that impact I'm looking up to. How do I make the next impact? Each and every one of us has a role to play. From your house, to your school, to your church, to your business, we all have a role to play in keeping our environment safe. For not just ourselves, but for the generations to come. And I think that if we all get our hands on deck, we can conquer climate change.